Show. Turn up your mind.
Ukraine's fast-moving counterattacks pressing forward, pushing Russians back from the front lines. The country's military says this dramatic video shows its special forces ambushing a Russian military vehicle, one of hundreds captured after Ukrainian troops forced the Russians out of nearly the entire Kharkiv region. Military experts say these images of weapons left behind suggest the Russians didn't regroup, but were forced to flee. Ukraine's President Zelensky says more than 2,300 square miles have been recaptured in less than 2 weeks, bigger than the entire state of Delaware. Ukraine's troops and civilians emotional. But for Ukrainian soldiers, the work of securing and protecting liberated towns has just begun, like these troops clearing mines.
And if they start pushing themselves too thin, then that's a recipe for the Russians to surround them and really take back a large part of the land in which they've retaken from the Russians.
It's a back-and-forth war that may be far from over. Recent Russian attacks on Ukraine's power station in Kharkiv hitting civilian infrastructure, plunging millions into the dark. The police chief says Russia conducted a rocket strike against a peaceful city. But military strategists warn Ukraine hasn't seen the full extent of what Russia and Putin are capable of.
When they start getting pressed like this, we can't forget about chemical weapons coming into play.
Oh, God.
We can't forget about tactical nukes coming into play.
See, that's the thing, okay? That is the thing. And that is what Putin did in Syria, right? He gassed those people. And now they're talking about tactical nuclear weapons maybe being on his menu of options. And you've got 50 municipal, governors, if you will, in St. Petersburg and Moscow signing on to a letter saying it's time for you to go to Vlad the Impaler. That's huge. That's a big damn deal. Because if Vlad leaves, who's now in charge of all that Russian oil and gas? You see what I mean? Yes. And what kind of a message does it send to every autocrat that Vladimir Putin supported and every democracy that he interfered in? Yeah. It's a conundrum. And here we are 56 days ahead of an election, and you got what is looking to be Rovember 8th coming up. And all you guys, you're depending on us women to save this nation from a complete meltdown, a complete and total forced Labor Day. Crazy. So this stupid bill that Lindsay introduced, it has a name. It's called, check this out. It's called the Protecting Pain Capable Unborn Children from Late-Term Abortions Act. Yes, that just trips off the tongue, doesn't it? Forced Labor Day. That is what this is, all about. Why don't you just call it what it is? This is crazy. This is madness. And the fact that Mitch McConnell is splitting off from Lindsey Graham, that they're totally out of sync with each other. Oh, man. It is such a story. It's so worth covering. It's so worth, people are supposed to, and you got 50 subpoenas, 30 subpoenas, somewhere in that neighborhood, 30, 40 subpoenas going out to a whole host of Trump supporters. Everything from Boris Epstein. They took his phone. They took Boris Epstein's phone. Boris Epstein is Russian. You know that, right? I mean, like born there. They took his phone. They agreed, though. This is really creepy. They agreed. They never agree. But the Trump camp and the DOJ agreed on a 78-year-old ex-FISA court judge to be the special master. I guess Rudy was busy. I guess Bannon is, busy defending himself, that he couldn't show up. But the guy's name is Judge Raymond Deary. They say he is a respected jurist, which makes you wonder, what is Trump up to?